You need to stop scrolling if you are an international nurse, a carer, a healthcare practitioner, or if you are looking to migrating into the UK through the skilled worker visa route. This is because the UK government has made some changes to some of their policies, and this video might save you thousands of pounds and even years of trouble if you watch the video till the end. So ensure you don't skip any bits. Sometime this month of July, the UK government released some changes that they are making to some visa categories. And a few weeks ago, they also released something called a white paper where they made some proposals and some changes that they wanted to make. If you have not seen that video, I did a detailed video explaining this, and I'm going to link it in the description box. Now, they have come to say from the 22nd of July 2025, there are some changes that would be implemented. They will be starting 22nd of July, and some of that we will be looking into details in today's video. So they released a 138-page document, and what the UK government usually does is they would release another document to summarize what is in that lengthy document. Now, we're going to be breaking down some of these points into 5 categories based on what my viewers would be interested in. We will be talking about 5 top changes that would be happening coming from the 22nd of July down through the year. So ensure that you don't skip today's video, okay? From 22nd July 2025, the UK is making big changes to immigration, and now some visas are coming to an end. I know, I understand, it's painful, but a visa category is coming to an end, and this is something that quite a number of people have taken advantage of, but the UK government is putting an end to that visa category. So let's break down the top 5 immigration changes that you need to know in today's video. Change number 1, they have increased the salary threshold from the 22nd of July 2025. Now, before you come into the UK, ideally you are supposed to meet a salary threshold. So if you have an employer who is employing you, there is a salary the employer is supposed to pay you when you're moving into the country. Now, they recently, okay, not very recent per se, but they had increased that amount to about 38,700. Now, the UK government have come to say that 38,700 is not going to be the salary threshold anymore. It has now been increased to 41,700 per year, which means before an employer employs someone from abroad, the employer should be willing to pay that person 41,700 per year. If not, no issuance of certificate of sponsorship. And now for people who are PhD holders, they have also increased the salary threshold for them. And for PhD holders, it would be 37,500. This increase to 41,700 salary threshold is a very big jump as compared to before, where the salary threshold was somewhere around £26,000. It is now going to be 41,700, and not all employers would be happy to pay that to someone coming from abroad. They would rather spend little money and employ someone here in the UK. So that's something to put in mind when you are applying for a job. You want to ensure that the salary threshold or the salary that the employer is going to be paying you would be something that would meet the salary threshold for you to be able to get a visa to move into the country. Now, the change number 2 has to do with the degree requirement. For a lot of people who were getting jobs and moving into the country, some people did not even require to have a degree before getting a job. So take, for example, when the care worker visa was ongoing, it was very popular and a lot of people was using that route. Not everybody had a degree. Some people just did like some certification courses that gave them the advantage that they needed to apply for a job here in the UK. Now, the UK government have come out to say that would not happen anymore. Before you can get a job now in the UK from the 22nd of July moving onwards, you would need to have RFQ 6 and above, and that is bachelor's level and above. You cannot come and say, oh, you have high school certificate or school leaving certificate and you have some certifications that you did just here and there. They don't want that anymore. Quite a number of people have been asking, so how about nurses who did School of Nursing or diploma courses, would that affect them as well? I would like to say yes and no. Majorly no, and that's because what would happen is the UK government would probably find a way to cover up the nurses, because the healthcare sector still need nurses. The healthcare sector still need people to come and fill up those vacancies that are in the country. So there might be some adjustment or maybe a little bit of like a temporary something for nurses, and they would be able to cover up for that. But for now, they have said for you to get a job in the UK, you cannot use your diploma certificate anymore. It has to be bachelor certificates, bachelor degree and above. And so when they came to say degree level, bachelor's degree level and above, what that implies or what happened with that change is about 180 jobs no longer qualify to get certificate of sponsorship. That means over 180 occupations that used to accept diploma certificate or maybe like just certifications from here and there, that has come to an end. So those jobs no longer qualify for people to get visa here in the UK, which means if you fall into that category, I'm so sorry to say, but you need to go and upskill and upgrade before you can get a job here in the UK. And because of that, the 180 occupations that usually accept diplomas have been removed. So people now have to start looking for other ways to move if they're still interested in the UK. So the first change we talked about was the increase in the salary threshold, and we've talked about the degree requirement to get a job now in the UK. The next change we're going to be talking about is going to be on the temporary shortage occupation list that the UK government, they are rolling in. So usually what they do is they close one door and they open another door. Now the UK government has said so and so number of occupations, 180 of them would no longer be eligible for them to move into the UK. But they have come out to then say, well, we know we are closing this door, but we're going to do something called a temporary shortage occupation list, where there are some jobs, some occupations that they will put in that list for a short time. It's not going to be long, it's going to be short. That's why it's temporary, Abby. So they will do that list that people who are on that list can then come into the UK, be able to fill up the vacancies that they have ongoing at the moment. And when they have enough, they will then close it. The thing with that one is they have said it's going to be like a backup plan for critical jobs. But they have also added a caveat to it. And with that one, they have said that no dependents would be allowed, no discounts in the salary threshold, and it is only going to be for a short time. I mean, if you can remember, on the shortage occupation list before, there are some jobs that like had some discounts that you don't necessarily have to meet the salary threshold. But with this one, they are saying even though it is going to be temporary, you still have to meet the salary threshold. So you still have to get a job that is like 41,700 and your dependents cannot come with you. And if you don't have those requirements, if you don't meet those thresholds, then you cannot get a job from that temporary shortage occupation list. So this is something that they're saying, even though we're closing this door, we're going to open this one for people to make use of it. But we would have a look and see when they update it and when they tell us more about what this temporary shortage occupation list is going to be about. I will come and update everybody on here so you are aware to be on the lookout for that. And something you can do to give you an advantage is subscribe to the channel, okay? Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notification bell so that when I put out that content, you'll be the first person to know that this is what the latest update is, and you can start making plans to ensure that you're not left behind. Okay. Another change that the UK government has said that they would do is they want to scrap out the discounts. Like I was explaining previously, that they want to scrap out the discounts and the fees that some occupations had over another occupation. So take for example, for nurses or healthcare practitioners who are coming into the UK, you don't have to meet up with the current salary threshold. So before they had increased it, for you to get a job to move into the UK, you can have like a discount. You don't have to be paid exactly the amounts that other people are being paid. But now they have said that they are scrapping that discount that people had It's no longer going to be available. And the reason why that was being used by a lot of employers is because they don't have to pay as much money as they would have paid other people here in the UK. But now the UK government has said, we are scrapping that. You don't have that anymore. And so if you are paying everybody, you have to pay them the same amount. I think the reason why they are increasing the salary threshold, scrapping out discounts, doing all of these changes is, one, because the cost of living has increased. Cost of living is expensive. People are complaining that they don't have enough money to meet up with their daily needs, and inflation is high. This one is happening and they don't have enough money. So they're saying, let us create a balance. There is no discount anymore. They're trying to reduce net migration as well. In a way, that's going to reduce net migration because not a lot of people would be employed anymore. The employers would not want to spend that high amount of money to employ people from abroad, pay for certificate of sponsorship, maybe do like your visa payment, give you like 3 months free accommodation for you, where they can just get someone that they would not have to spend that high amount of money when the person is already here. So in a way, it's like a win for them because they are going to, reduce the number of people that would be considered. It's going to be a bit tricky at the moment because quite a number of people who come into the country don't have like degrees. Some people have like certificates or diplomas and just things that will give them an edge when they're applying for jobs. So this is something, like I said before, you need to upskill. You need to improve. You need to place yourself in an advantageous position when you are applying for jobs, okay? So I've noticed that quite a number of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel yet. I was having a look through my analytics and I saw that a whopping over 90% of you are not subscribed to the channel, but you come back to watch the channel because you get value from it. So this is where I'm going to ask, please do subscribe to the channel, do support me. That way you give me the morale and the ginger to keep on pushing and be consistent and putting out valuable content for you. So please do subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed yet. Do like the content, do share it to friends and family members. The algorithm loves it. So if you are doing that, it's not expensive. It's not something that you pay money for. So please do support me and I will promise you that I will be consistent and I will put out content that you would find very helpful. Do leave your comments in the comment section if you have any request or if you have an area that you'd like for me to focus on for you. By the way, I would love to know where you are watching from. So if you are watching from any part of the world, I would love to know that. So please do leave a comment in the comment section telling me where you are watching from, and I have a surprise for you. I'll be waiting for your comments. And yes, it is official. The last change I'm going to be talking about is the one that is hurting. It hits so bad. Is the end of the care visa route. Now, the UK government have come to say no more visa for care workers. From the 22nd of July, the UK government is ending that. Few years ago, they opened up this option, they opened up this route for people to come into the country to fill up those vacancies. And if you can remember, quite a number of people took advantage of this opportunity. They applied, they got jobs, they came in with their dependents. And when the UK government did like their statistics and they saw that quite a number of people are now in the country, they decided to cut down on the net migration. One of the change that they did was to say care workers can no longer come with their dependents anymore. Still, some people still use that opportunity to come into the country, mostly people who are single. It's like the single Pringles, they still use the opportunity to move into the country because, they don't have dependents. But now the UK government have come to say, even though we made that change previously, going forward from the 22nd of July, the care worker visa is coming to an end. The care worker visa would be removed. It would be abolished, which means you don't have to apply for care worker visa anymore. So this is something that you should know. Now, let me give you an example. I was hearing someone who said something in the lines of an was telling the person to come and pay £10,000 to give the person a care worker visa. this is something you should know. It is coming to an end. So you're not supposed to be paying anybody any money anymore. And that's because if you pay, it's just a scam. Nobody would give you certificate of sponsorship. Nobody is going to give you a job because the UK government have said this is coming to an end. So you don't even have that visa anymore. So carers and senior carers, it has been abolished. You cannot get a job from abroad anymore. But what they have said for people who are here in the UK, because quite a number of people have been asking, would I be affected? Would I not be affected? If you were here in the country, they have made like room for you here in the country, and they've said there's going to be a transition period, and this is going to end sometime in 2028. What they have said is, if you are here in the UK and you want to swap, you want to change from one visa category to another visa category, you can, but you need to have worked for that employer for about 3 months before you change from one visa to another visa. And that's, I think, something that is easily achievable because people still do like voluntary roles. People work for the employer before they are being given certificate of sponsorship. Some people would even say you need to work for us for about 6 months before we give you that certificate of sponsorship. So that's something that is easily achievable for people who are currently in the UK. For those who their visa category still has like maybe 1 year or 2 years, I would say have a look into that. And before your visa expires, you need to ensure that you change, you update your visa, and then allow it to start counting. Because take for example, when I first moved into the country, my visa was supposed to last me for 5 years, but then I changed jobs. I moved to another job and I had to change my visa, which means I had to get another certificate of sponsorship. So that's something that if you are considering changing jobs, if you're probably doing like a job that you feel it is temporary and you want to upgrade, you want to do something else, you need to start doing that as fast as you can. You need to put in the effort. You need to do it quickly. If you feel like, okay, you can get a job between now and the 22nd of July and apply for like, priority visa and all of that, brilliant, fantastic. Please go ahead and do it. But you should bear it in mind that from 22nd of July, carers and senior carers visa has been abolished. It has come to an end. So when people tell you apply for this job or someone tells you to come and pay an exorbitant amount of money, know it is scam and don't fall for it. It is red flag. Run away from it. Okay. So what do you need to do now? I personally would say if you are abroad and you are still planning to apply, please do apply. If you are eligible, apply. If you feel like you will get the job priority visa like I had explained before, please go ahead, do it. Don't give up. I would say avoid agents that want to scam you. Okay? Don't fall for their scams. Don't fall for their gimmicks. Avoid them as much as you can. You can also explore other skilled worker visa routes. So there is something that the UK government has proposed that they want to do with the Global Talent Visa. That's something you can look into if you are interested in that and if you meet the criteria. I did a live Q&A with someone about Global Talent Visa in general, and I feel like you will find that very helpful if you are interested in that. So please do have a look. I'll also link it in the comment section for you to access it easily. So that's something for you to do. And if you are already in the UK, something you can do is you can start switching into eligible roles and those positions that would pay you higher salaries. I know it's not easy, like getting a promotion, moving up the band is not easy here in the UK, but it's something that if you are here and you feel like, okay, you have a transition period of 3 years, you can start planning, start making, all of the things that you have to do, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, things that will place you in an advantageous position. If you have to do like short courses, if you have to do like a volunteer role, if you have to, work with a charity or something, please do that, because that way when you start switching your visa from this category that is ending to another one, you have something that you can sell to the employer. So please have a look into that. Another thing you can do is if you don't have a certificate of sponsorship at the moment, you can speak with your employer, see if they are willing to offer you that certificate of sponsorship. Now, not everybody will say yes to this. Some people will say yes, we can, others will say no. But something I like to say is if you don't ask, you won't know. So please do ask the questions. They might be willing and happy to offer you that, and you might just be in luck. So do ask the questions. And so just to do like a final recap of everything we've talked about the changes, the immigration changes that the UK government are implementing from the 22nd of July 2025. The first one we talked about was the increase in the salary threshold. They have said money is increasing. People have to have their money, their salaries increased as well. So they're increasing that one. Salary thresholds are increasing to 41,700. The next change we talked about was a degree change as well. So for you to get a job now in the UK, you need to have a bachelor's, RFQ 6 and above. The next one we talked about was for discounts and salary fees and all of those things that the UK government were giving before. That is coming to an end. So it's not happening anymore. Another change we talked about was the end of the carers and the senior carers visa route. So if you have been eyeing that and you were thinking you were going to do those routes or move into the UK through that visa category, I'm sorry to announce that is coming to an end from the 22nd of July 2025. And the last change we talked about was the introduction of a temporary shortage occupation list. And so because the UK government are closing one route, they are opening another door. So this is something that they said they want to do this like an emergency cover up, a backup plan, because you're ending the care visa route. So this is something that they want to introduce as well. So these are the changes that we've talked about today. If you feel like I have not covered anything and you would like specific information on that, please do leave a comment in the comment section, and I'm very happy to answer all of your comments for you. If you have any questions, do ask as well. Going forward, I'm going to be talking about other opportunities that you can consider as the UK government has made migrating into the country a bit difficult now. I know getting a skilled worker visa might not be as easy as before, and so because of that, I'm going to be taking on other opportunities, showing it on the channel so that you can have information about this. But how would you have the information if you're not subscribed to the channel? So please do subscribe to the channel, because that way, when I push out all of this valuable information, you will be the first person to be notified. So do like the video, do share it to friends and family members that you know would find value from this as well. Subscribe and turn on your post notification bell. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye for now.